Hello, greetings and welcome to GT Journeys. In Britain and indeed most of Europe and further away, it is common to find historic railways. They usually have some steam trains and perhaps even some older diesel or even electric trains which run over a length of railway, giving pleasure trips to visitors. They are usually operated as museums with historic infrastructure and even staff dressed in period clothing. Having a ride on an old-time train is central to visiting these places. However, it is quite unusual to find an old-time railway station being run as a museum visitor attraction, but with no trains to ride on or look at. Join me today as we have a look around Hadlow Road Railway Station. We'll start with a look at the history of Hadlow Road Station. The story begins almost 180 years ago in 1846 when the Birkenhead, Lancashire and Cheshire Junction Railway was incorporated to build a line connecting the port of Birkenhead and the city of Chester with the manufacturing districts of Lancashire. During the formative years of the railways in Britain, company acquisitions and mergers were common. By 1859, the company had shortened its name to the Birkenhead Railway. The following year, it was taken over jointly by the London and North Western Railway and the Great Western Railway, and remained under the control of both railway companies until the nationalisation of the British Railways. In 1866, a single-track branch line was opened by the Birkenhead Railway, running from Hooton to Parkgate. This branch served Hooton, Willaston, Neston and Parkgate. A passing loop was incorporated at Willaston to allow trains to pass. Some 20 years later, the line had been extended to serve Heswall, Thurston, Caldy and West Kirby. The railway stations on this branch line took their names from the towns and villages which they served. Willaston was a problem though. Halfway between the towns of Crewe and Nantwich was another village also called Willaston. And that Willaston already had a station which was of course called Willaston Station. It can be awfully confusing for passengers if there are two railway stations with the same name, so the decision was made to use the name Hadlow Road for this station serving Willaston on the Wirral. It may come as no surprise that Hadlow Road Station is located right beside the B5151, which in this area is also known as Hadlow Road. Now if you're local to the Wirral and are passionate about your local history, I'm sure that you will be jumping up and down in your chair right now because I've not mentioned the Wirral Colliery. Well, yes, Railmap Online does indeed show a branch from the branch line just south of Parkgate, serving the Wirral Colliery, which was located close to the modern day area around Riverside Walk and Marshlands Road. But that is mostly out of the scope of this video. It is now 1956, and so it is obviously a time before Dr. Beeching came along. Nevertheless, in 1956, due to declining passenger numbers, the difficult decision was made by British Railways to close the line and Hadlow Road Station to passengers. The line itself continued in service for freight transport and even for driver training purposes. On the 7th of May 1962, the line was finally closed to all traffic, and 2 years later the tracks were lifted, sealing the fate of this once proud and popular branch line. In 1964, workers came along to lift the tracks. Some 4 years later, in 1968, a decision was made to create Britain's first country park. After a lot of hard work and backing by money from the Countryside Commission, the Wirral Country Park finally opened in 1971. The linear park follows the old branch line for its full 12-mile length between Hooton Park and West Kirby. The Wirral Way footpath follows the track bed and is open to walkers, cyclists and even horse riders. The station building and the eastbound platform was restored to its state as a typical village station of the 1950s. Over the years, much work has continued at improving the station buildings. In 1999, Historic England listed Hadlow Road Station with a Grade 2 listing on the National Heritage List for England. By 2012, the westbound platform and its small brick-built shelter were restored. In 2015, a community group was established. The Friends of Hadlow Road Station group volunteers work alongside the station owners, Cheshire West and Chester Council, to maintain and improve the station for the benefit of the whole community. The main station building waiting room and ticket office is preserved as a museum depicting how the station would have been on the day that it closed in the 1950s. Car parking is on the area of the old goods yard. The original signal box had been removed with the line closure, but a replacement signal box was reinstated here. Both the signal box and the level crossing gates were previously located at Hassel Green on the North Staffordshire Railway. A scale model layout of Hadlow Road Station when it was fully operational can be found inside the signal box. A section of track bed was laid in front of the station building with support from apprentices working for National Rail. The station master's house is currently used as a cafe, and the Friends group occasionally operate a pop-up cafe to raise funds. The station has won several awards over the years and is often used for events which do tend to be very popular. If you'd like to visit Hadlow Road Station yourself, I have put useful information on our website. There is a link in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, here is another which YouTube thinks you will also enjoy. It's now time for me to say goodbye, and as always, have a grand tour!